Hello. Welcome back to the channel. This is Jimmy, and thank you for clicking up on another episode. I am out of breath because I had the brilliant idea to run up the stairs at the Bethesda metro station. And if you don't know, I think that's like the second or third largest escalator on this side of the world, like 238 feet or something like that. And I didn't take the escalator, I took the stairs. So I got my run in for the week. But I want to talk about and carry on from this conversation yesterday around the importance that leaders have on mental health. It's funny, my son, who's 17, I'm always so proud of him because he shows up. First off, we're so much alike. But he had to leave early one day. It's not something he'd do often. And his manager was giving him a little grief. Good grief, like I actually aligned with a lot what his manager was saying, because I probably would have said something very similar. And there's just this thing about him being so young and being able to be his authentic self. And in short, he said, hey, I appreciate the perspective. I appreciate the care. But I believe that we're human beings, not human doings. And, how what he prioritized in his life, his health and mental health is really, really important. And that was not something that I appreciated at his age. And even his manager appreciated the response because he's only 17. And I just thought that was a really professional and grown-up response. Good morning. But it also made me think about, this. I don't know a lot about my son's manager, but I know he's a, very ambitious young individual that started his own business. And, I always find people like that very fascinating, that when they take the courage to bet on themselves. And my son really likes working for this individual. He talks about him all the time. And so when I was coming up in retail world, I had leaders I talked about all the time. One of my favorite leaders I ever worked for, a guy named Chuck, got me really my big first start in retail. But somebody we would talk about all the time, right? Imitation is the best form of flattery, and everybody had a Chuck impersonation. And it was always out of flattery because, he was really fun to work for. But I've also had those leaders where instead of us spending time out enjoying ourselves, everybody's spending time complaining about work and complaining about that individual. And so carrying over from yesterday, how our leaders and managers and your supervisor can have a really big impact on your mental health. At the end of the day, it's your choice on how you choose to see certain things. But as a leader, it's always been important to me to be a boss that people wanted to work for, or a leader that people wanted to work for. And I've been fortunate in my career that I've never had a really hard time retaining top talent. And that's been intentional. I don't say I'm an easy leader to work for. I have really high expectations, but I really judge people on the effort and less on the outcomes. And, for some people that can be really challenging to work for because they might not understand, where the drive continue to come from until they're willing to slow down and listen to what I'm trying to get at a lot of times. But people who show up every day, give it their all, focus on making people feel good, I just find those qualities are just recipes for success in whatever people do. And if they have a little bit resilience where they can stick with something when it might be taking them a long time to learn it, I just found that those are really significant investments to put in people, and they pay off. And so be a leader that people want to work with. Be a leader that people want to brag about at their dinner table. And that's really powerful when you think about it. Like as a leader, you might not just be impacting that one person's life. You can be impacting 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on an individual's family makeup. And that doesn't mean that you have to say yes to everything. I don't say yes to a lot of stuff. I redirect, I challenge, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to get everybody's best work. But to get everybody's best work, I have to know my team. I have to know what they're capable of. And you can't know what people are capable of if you don't take the time to get to know them. If you don't take the time to get to see it from their perspective. Their perspective might not be right for me. It might not be right for the organization. But if I understand it from their perspective, I can redirect. The students of Dale Carnegie really embrace this idea that you can't make people do anything at all. You can push, encourage, coerce, whatever, but at the end of the day, it's that person's choice. And if you make it really hard for a person to make a choice, it's probably not going to be the best for everybody involved. And so one of the most effective ways is really trying to see from their perspective and then giving them an opportunity to see from yours. And I found that if I do a really great job listening, people return the favor and they listen to what I have to say uninterrupted. And that's really, really important. So just a few things I wanted to carry over from yesterday's episode. Another short one as I'm walking to work. But be that leader that people want to brag about at their dinner table and to go a long way. You have a positive impact, and I promise you your results will come. If this helped, please like, subscribe to the channel, and share with somebody who needs to hear this message. So this is Jimmy. I'll see y'all soon.